In today's video, we're going to learn some tips on how to throw a great party and actually be around to enjoy it instead of being stuck in the kitchen and stressed out trying to look for things last minute and trying to figure everything out. So I've got my dear old friend Liette. We've been friends for over 40 years. She's not only the director of global events for a gaming company, but she also is a blogger. So she's got this very sassy blog called We Liette, where she talks about travel, lifestyle, and also talks about how to throw a great party. She gives excellent tips on how to host a successful party like a pro. So let's get started.
Hi everyone, Coco here from Win-Win, and I'm super excited to have one of my oldest and dearest friends with me today. Everyone, this is Liette Hébert, and Liette is a professional planner. Actually, she's a global. Liette, can you tell me your title again?
So my official title is Director of Global Events and Trade Shows for a gaming company, but it's fancy to say I'm a great party planner.
Yay! So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about how to plan. Liette's got she's got the science down, what you need to be able to throw a great party and actually enjoy it yourself too. Right, Liette?
That is the whole key. So I think people forget sometimes the whole point of a party is to enjoy your friends and family. And I think we get caught up in a lot of the details and sometimes the fun gets sucked out. So I'm going to try to give you some hints on how to have fun at your own party.
Yes, and I am the most guilty of that. I've never enjoyed a single event that I have hosted ever. So I'm all ears. I'm super excited to get all of these wonderful tips from you.
Awesome. Do you want to get started? Do you want to get the party started?
Let's get the party started. All right.
First, we should say that, yes, we have known each other for years and we're both goofballs. So we will try to keep it professional and stay on topic.
As much as we can, yes.
Okay, so my first point is get the party started. So that is the who, what, when, where, how. So really decide what your goal is for this party. Is it a full course, three full course sit down for 15 people? Is it, just an afternoon tea with, a few friends? Kind of what's the goal? Is it a birthday, an anniversary? Figure out what it is, who you're going to invite, where it's going to happen, and what your vibe's going to be.
Good, great advice. Okay, good.
My second point is be realistic. So now you kind of know what your vibe is, what you're going for. Be realistic. So I think this is where people get overwhelmed. They have a great idea, in 3 weeks, I'm going to have a party. And then the week before they have this big presentation, or the day of, they know that, Sally's got a hockey game and Tommy's got ballet and just different things that they're going to be running around. So look at your calendar and be realistic. Is what you want to achieve possible?
Yeah, don't bite off more than you can chew, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And be okay to pivot. Let's say you've invited people over for a dinner party, 6 people for a dinner party. You realize 3 days before, do you know what? I have no time for this. Order in. Your friends and family don't care. They just want to spend time with you. Yeah. So order in appetizers. If you're having a party, you don't have time to bake this fancy elaborate cake, order the cake or go buy a cake. So be a realistic.
Really good advice.
Yes. And if you're a novice, don't start off with a big dinner party. Yeah. Do appetizers, just things like that, or a charcuterie board. Or don't know your level, know your stress level, and be realistic in what you can pull off. And there's no shame in ordering.
You know what, Liette, that is such great advice, because I absolutely love having people in my home, and it's something that I really want to do more often, but it always ends up being so stressful, and I don't enjoy it, so I don't do it as often as I would like, because I'm not prepared. So this is really great advice. Okay, so what's tip number 3?
Tip number 3 is be prepared. So this, to be able to enjoy your party, everything needs to be prepared ahead of time. So let's say you're having a dinner party, you're making a big pot of spaghetti or a lasagna. Make sure everything is done. Make sure you're picking something that can just go in the oven and then be served. That way you're not stuck in the kitchen. If you're having appetizers, make sure that they're all prepared and ready in the fridge. I also do like stations. So I treat my parties as if they're big events. You don't want a traffic jam, at any part of your party. So I have people come in. There is a bar station, so everything you need for the bar. I'm of the opinion that you don't have to have drinks for everyone all night, but I have one signature drink per party. So I have something to offer as soon as they come in. But in addition, I have everything that they need for the rest of the evening. So most people, if they want to drink wine, they will bring wine. So I have wine glasses, I have beer glasses, I have beer openers, I have wine, a corkscrew for the wine, I have an ice bucket with ice. I have mixes, so I'll get those little cans. So I've got, soda water, Perrier, flat water, Coke if they want to bring rum and do a rum and Coke. So any kind of mix. I have a couple little things of orange juice. So everything that I figure that they're going to need. So during the party, people aren't asking you, oh, do you have this? Do you have that? Where's this? Where's that? And then you're away from your guests looking and digging. So
running around.
Everything is.
And by the way, I'm sure you don't have Coke at your party, Liette.
I do, because I think somebody left it from one of my other parties. So I have little cans. I was a Pepsi girl, but I no longer drink dark pop.
Really? No
Yes.
more Pepsi. Wow. Wow. I never thought I'd see the day. Okay.
So that's your bar station. Yeah, so just have everything there. So people, you serve them one drink and then it's a serve yourself. So that's one station.
Great idea. So that's the bar station. What are other kinds of stations? Like, I guess it depends what kind of party you're having. If you're having a birthday party or if you're having a Halloween party, I guess maybe there'll be different stations for different types of parties, I imagine.
Yeah, so if you, and then you could have another station that is your appetizers. So you have little plates, your little napkins, have little spoons and little cheese knives, just all there. And then maybe another station, if you're doing cake, have your cake out displayed. So it's part of your decor with, again, your little plates and your napkins and your knife and your forks. Have like a glass with a bunch of forks in them, so that when it's time for that station, everything is there. You don't have to run around. And again, I always like people to serve themselves.
Yeah.
Here's one drink, then,
Very good advice. I love it.
Sorry?
I love it. Mm-hmm.
So then number 4 is the party. You're prepared, people start to arrive. So it's the welcome. So make sure that your lighting is on point. So dim your lights. All lights should have dimmers. You don't want any bright overhead lights. So if you have some, turn them down. If you've got nice lamps, put them on. Candles are great lighting. You just don't want anything harsh. So make sure that your lighting is good. Make sure that you've got good background music, not too loud, especially when people start. You just want something kind of in the background that sets the mood, that's not too blaring. Once people get drinking, then you can pump up the volume. But what I also like to do, depending on how big my party is, I delegate. So I don't have any qualms about putting my guests to work. So put your guests to work, put your family to work. You're welcoming people as they come in. If it's the winter time and you're in Canada, designate a friend, say, hey, for the first little bit, can you take the coats? So you welcome them, you grab their coat, you give their coat to somebody else, you bring them over, you can even designate someone to be your bartender for your signature drink. Make sure that as soon as they arrive, they're welcomed and they have a drink in hand within like the first 20 seconds of arriving.
I love it.
Yeah, and especially if you're doing a larger party where people don't know each other, make sure you're doing introductions.
Yes.
And it helps to have a drink in hand.
It
and
does.
also people that, not everyone likes to drink, so have alternate, options.
Yeah, of course. Oh, great advice. I love that. Boy, I wish I would have done this a long time ago. I would be entertaining a lot more. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, Liette, those are all fantastic tips. I can't imagine that there's anything else. Is there anything else?
There's one more, and it's called have fun. So again, have fun at your own party. Nothing needs to be perfect.
Yeah.
If someone shows up to your party and is upset because you're not perfect, then you know what? Make sure that they're not invited to your next party.
Yes, seriously.
The whole goal is to spend time with friends,
Yeah.
especially now, I find that now that we do have more freedom to gather and to see people, there's a lot of people we haven't seen in a long time.
Yes.
It's just so important just to hug people and see people. So yeah, and also like your party doesn't have to be at your house. You can meet somebody at a restaurant. You can reserve a table at a restaurant. If you're really nervous about cooking, it could be an activity. Invite someone over and play games, or it doesn't have to be super complicated. It just needs to be with people that you love and that you're spending time with. So
I couldn't agree more. And you know what? Especially like you said, after so much isolation, getting together is so important, and connecting with loved ones. And even if you're in a place where they're on lockdown again, because I know Austria and a few other places are on lockdown again. Can you give advice on how, or do you know how to host a party on Zoom or one of these types of platforms? Do you have advice for that?
Yeah, so we've done that. So Canada was on lockdown as well. So I think one of the things that kept me sane is that I had weekly calls with my girlfriends. So, and one of our friends, Nadine, is a crazy theme person. So I've never had a theme that I didn't enjoy. But she would be like, okay, it's, a tropical theme. And she would show up on the call with like a loud shirt and like a sun hat, and it would just make us laugh. So maybe just pre-plan and tell people, okay, for this one, we are going to be, drinking martinis, or we're going to be drinking this or that, so that you can each have, a drink and cheers. I've also been invited to, during lockdown, I had dinner with friends in Halifax, which is like 3 hours from Moncton. Yeah. So they were eating dinner. I was eating dinner. They had me on the table, and we're just talking and stuff because, I live alone. So there's sometimes that you're really, really isolated. So
yes,
we're there like an hour and a half. They had their thing. They were preparing, and they had me on the counter, and I was preparing my thing. Then we both sat at the table and we ate and we chatted. So
I love it.
It's just really important to connect. And, parties are not frivolous.
No.
We're social beings and we need to connect with people. So that's the thing. But
I agree with you. It's not frivolous. It's absolutely important. It's crucial for us to connect with others. It doesn't have to be a party per se, but it is important for us to connect. And a party it just gives that little extra fun element when you all get together, rather than just two at a time. When everybody gets together, it's really fun.
Yes.
Well, this has been so much fun, and your advice was so just on time, because I want to entertain during the holiday season. So I'm really happy to have these tips. Do you ever host things with activities, Liette? Like, Christmas cookies or poutine? I know that your family used to get together around the holidays to make poutine. Do you still do things like that?
Absolutely. So, I mean, again, think outside the box. It doesn't have to be, a party. My family, so I've got a big French Acadian family. So on my mom's side, we bake cookies every Christmas, leading up to Christmas. And of course, I'm a party planner. So I have red aprons. I've had aprons made for everyone, and it says your name and it says Santa's ho, ho, ho. It's funny. And every year.
That's yours, right?
No, but everyone, it's Jeanette, Santa's little ho, ho, ho.
Okay.
Jeanette, Santa's little ho, ho, ho. So we all have matching. I think I like matching things. So we all have aprons. So it was like a one-time investment purchase, but then we've had them for about 6 years now. And we rotate where the cookies are made. We've gone out and bought, mixing bowls and enough things,
spatulas and whatever
and things like that we keep and bring every year. Everyone is designated with an ingredient, so the hostess isn't the one, buying everything. We usually do 2 different cookies. We usually have like teams of 3 people, so we have little stations. So the hostess makes sure that there's like 4 or 5 areas that you can kind of do your thing. And we play Christmas music and we have fun.
I love it.
Yeah, my family too, I find, there's some families that sit around the table and talk about, important topics, spend hours chatting. That's not my family. It is like, my family.
Yes.
So it's, you spend all this time cooking and then it takes like 7 minutes. And then my father was always like, what's for dessert? So that whole thing, it's like, okay. So what I started doing for our Canadian Thanksgiving, which is in October, is that we would play games. So after the thing, we would play a game. Since our Canadian Thanksgiving is in October, we would do pumpkins. So the whole family, because it was before Halloween.
Like pumpkin carving, you mean?
Pumpkin carving. And then we would take pictures, post them on social media, and have people vote for the best pumpkin.
And who won?
Most of the time, my brother. But having them, and then this way, they stayed at my place for hours because you're actually doing something together. Everyone got in it because,
That's a great idea.
We're all very competitive. So just know your crowd. There's also like fun little things that you can do. Ask questions. You can have, a question on each place settings just to get the conversation started. What's your favorite childhood memory or just things like that? Everybody goes around the table, reads their question, and then answer. So you can Google little party icebreakers. But yeah, it's just, again, the goal is to have fun, be present, and enjoy the people that you're with.
Awesome. Liette, thank you so much for this. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm super, super excited to host now. I won't be stressed out anymore. I'm going to be prepared thanks to you and your wonderful tips. Thanks a lot, Liette.
You're welcome. Bye. Miss you.
Bye. Miss you too. Bye.